hell of an intro. I tell you what you info, but I never really been the type of dude to give no info.
I'm trying to give you energy.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, just like
send some through the screen.
Yep.
I'm
it's a vibe check thing.
Don't check me. I noticed
that's not a bad thing. Come on now.
I'm in all areas of my life. I notice I'm very like, I can be excited, I can be happy or like upbeat, but I'm not the type like before games, for example. Some of my teammates are like, "Yeah, let's go!" like jumping up and down and like, you know, like crazy and stuff. And they're like, "Are you excited?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm excited." Like it's all in here. I'm not the type to go crazy. I don't know, unless I'm at a concert where I'm like singing the music. Still, I'm not like screaming. I'm just singing the music. I don't know. It's all I got for you. But I'm very happy to be here.
Of course, I hope you are, because I mean, if you weren't, then it would be very, very pointless. Because we have to give.
I was gonna say, you already made a comment on Instagram how you're gonna give me the boot. So I'm getting all these threats left and right. If I don't have the right energy, he's gonna give me the boot. Or what else? What was it? I don't even remember what it was. Why you said that?
Because it wasn't anything. That's why. I don't know what you're making up these stories for.
Okay. Now everybody needs to go to Instagram and see the way that Ronnie's been talking to me in our captions and in our comments.
Only if they can find which one it was. Ha 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 ha.
It's like very recent. And everybody should go look at the most recent reel because, well, now it's not the most recent reel when this comes out, but still.
Like I said, if they go and check, that's the only way they'll find out if it's true or not, if it's a real story, or are you actually just trying to frame me to be this evil guy that everyone in the world tries to do? But with all that
the drama today.
Literally.
I don't know why my eyes are watering. I guess this is going to be a thing today. I'm not crying. For anybody watching YouTube, my eyes are, I don't know. But anyway. Let's continue.
With all that being said, welcome to the Walking Girl Show, everyone. It's Roney and Courtney on the mic. We haven't done this in a while, which is to test ourselves to see how are we, how's our heart? I feel like we haven't said that in a while. So for those that are tuning in, listening at this point in time, just kind of sit back, reflect. It's been quite a few episodes. I think we've just skipped over that. And I think it's good to kind of reel back to what we used to do and just kind of remind people it's okay to sit down and ask, how's your heart? So, Courtney, if you don't mind, jump starting that. How's your heart? And we can roll right into our tour of the month.
Woo! Yeah, I'm glad you asked. That's so true. We really haven't done that in a while. We've just been so excited about the topics that we were going to cover. My heart has been, it's kind of fluctuated recently. I honestly feel like I haven't really been paying attention to my heart. I've been doing my brain's been doing a lot of work. I don't know if I told you. I actually recently got a concussion. Did I tell you that?
No.
And
you've been recording while you had a concussion?
It's been a couple weeks.
Wow, look at you.
So my brain has been working overtime. And just everything, I didn't realize how, we don't have to get into this, but I didn't realize how much a concussion impacts your mental state. Like not mental capacity, but like mental health. And like emotional state, I should say. Of course, mental capacity, but like emotional state. Because my moods have been really interesting, and I have to determine like, is something actually wrong, or is this just like my brain is a little bit funky right now? So it's been exhausting, so I don't think I've really been paying attention to my heart. I've had a lot going on with work and just life, so I've kind of just been trying to check things off my list, so to speak. So yeah, it'd be nice to kind of go back to seeing what my heart needs. I have been thinking about how we started the year and with my being intentional and things like that. And I really, truly don't feel like I've been nearly as intentional as I wanted to be. And I think in my mind, it's just like, I can't catch a break like since New Year's. Okay. So, but yeah, I want to get back to that. And I think part of that is going back to the heart too. And like what I need for me and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't really give you an answer, but I appreciate the check-in, and I feel like I kind of needed that check-in. And I also wanted to say another way I've heard this question being asked for either of us is on a scale of 1 to 10, how is your heart? And the reason that I bring that up is because sometimes it's like, yeah, we're good. And it's like anywhere from like a 3 to an 8. You know what I mean? Like you're not really sure. But that might be a way that we could look at it too.
Yeah.
But how's your heart?
My heart is pretty. I would say it's good. Been making a little bit of progress in terms of personal life, so that has definitely been good. I have a huge accomplishment that I think we're gonna be able to get done within the next month or so. Personally speaking, so that has definitely been on top of mind, at least on my heart for the most part. But besides that, everything's been good and gravy. Just moving emotions as much as possible, trying to move mountains over here, and that takes a little bit of effort and energy. So, just kind of pushing all of that, and at least just kind of having my back on that is where I'm at. So yeah, that's how my heart is. I do want to ask you a question. Are you still in concussion protocol? Just really quick.
So we have this app through my job that like you talk to a doctor virtually.
Okay.
That's all I did. So I didn't really have like protocol. They were just like rest and stuff. And I haven't had time to rest. So yeah, I mean, technically I should be resting and I should be probably not looking at screens and all the things that I do
Interesting.
for 40 hours a week plus. So kind of, I mean, I've missed 2 games, 2 like pretty significant games. So
Yeah.
I haven't been playing rugby, but kind of, sort of.
I know I have never had a concussion, but this is a cool tip for somebody that probably forgot that our PCs and computers, laptops can do this. But there's like the warm screen aspect of that you can do. Again, that's a quick tool just for anybody. I use it primarily when it gets dark out. I change everything, all my electronics, their screen just changes, so it's like more of a warmth rather than a blue light just smacking my eyes. So I know that's not what we're really going to dive into tool of the month, but
that's the tool of the month. There you go. There it is. Warm screen on your
and
devices.
We're gone. You guys enjoy it. That's your tool of the month.
Have a good one.
That would be wild. I would be so disappointed in anybody that like, if I was a listener, I would be like, "Are you guys serious right now? Why are you wasting my time?" But no, that's not what we have for you. That's we can't start and end an episode on that type of note. There's really no value in that aspect of it. But just a quick reminder.
So it's just an extra little.
Yeah.
There you go. So what is the tool of the month? What should we do?
I don't know. You tell me. You wanted to do something new and not tell me the tool of the month, so I don't know
in my brain, you know how that one Netflix movie came out? Well, and this happened like video games and stuff, but you know how that one Netflix movie came out where you could like select where it goes?
Yes.
And they had like multiple. Goodness. I wish we could do that. And I wish we could like have like record the episode and then have people like select what they want, which tool they want, and we record like all 3 different ones.
That would actually be
a really good idea. For me.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Well, and then I was thinking about it, and then I'm like, well, it's kind of just like we'll eventually do all 3, and they will just go to the YouTube and choose which episode they want.
Yeah.
But still, this is more fun and like interactive. So in my mind, that's how this is going. I'm just gonna act like, everyone's involved, and like there's a bunch of people like popping up on my screen that
So are you gonna use me as like your test?
Yes, basically.
Okay. Who said I wanted to be tested on today?
I know you had a little quiz last time too, and you didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not in school. That's why.
I have some options for us for tools. So you can choose what you think would be best for the episode, or you could choose what you think would be best for you right now, or what you'd like to learn, what you'd like to work on.
Yeah, but that's not fair for the other people that are like, we're hearing this one.
I think all of them would be useful.
Okay.
And what you need might be, there's going to be people who need so on and so forth, right? Some people are going to need this, some people are going to need that. So
if I don't choose what you guys want, I'm sorry, guys. You guys are SOL till next time.
We'll still use them. We'll still use them for sure. Or you could just reach out to us and be like, wait, I want to hear this one.
Yeah.
And then I'll know for next time.
Yeah.
Or I'll just give you a sneak peek.
Or maybe we can have that person on and we can actually go through it with them. That's for like the tool of the month.
Oh, a guest on our tool of the month episode. That'd be fun.
That'd be pretty cool. So reach out. Go ahead, Courtney.
Okay. So the options that I have are, so we've been talking lots about communication skills, lots about just communication in general the last couple episodes. So there's a communication tool specifically. Pretty straightforward, but it's a good communication skill. The next one would be like making positive change or helping to support a positive change in your life. And then the last one, I don't really know what to call it, but it would be more so kind of like observing where you're at, observing your intentions, and kind of like managing habits or managing things that you've been going through. So you get to pick which
So
tool.
communication, positive change, and managing essentially is what I'm getting out of those three.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me there's a tool for each and every single one of them.
Yes, and you get
And
to
I
pick
have to
which one you
choose
feel like you'd like
which
to
one
work
do
on.
I. It's between positive impact and managing. Um, man, this is a tough decision because it's like, man, I want both of them, but
So I'll give you. So the last one that we were talking about, like kind of managing where you're at, this I did recently, and it was really good for me. Like I just mentioned, I don't feel like I've been as intentional as I want to be.
okay.
So that was a good thing for that to kind
So
of
then let's
observe
kick it
where I'm
off right
at.
there because we're about to be in March, and let's just see. That's how you felt in terms of your goals and just kind of where you would prefer to be. I'm sure you're not the only one in this world that has kind of slept off or left behind the goals that they've set in the beginning of the year. So this
Yeah.
is, I'm not going to use this as a selfish one. So we can go ahead and just make sure we can plug everybody else in and make this more of like, all right, how are we going to manage? Because I'm sure I could use some guidance as well.
Okay, perfect. So all we do for this one, of course, I always like to have stuff to write down. So if you have a piece of paper or some Post-its, whatever is best for you. What we're going to do at some point, just so you know, is we want to have like 6 sections. So if you have one full piece of paper, you'll fold it like into 3s, and you fold it in half.
Okay.
So you have 6 sections. Jeez. Or like I said, you could do 6 Post-its if that's how your brain likes it. You could do it on your phone and split it up into pieces.
And we get the gist now, Courtney. Come on.
I'm just saying.
I got mine.
6 sections. Okay. So you're gonna pick 2 kind of areas of your life that you want to look at. And that's just to kind of show that you can do this in any area. So for me, when I did this, I did personal life and professional life.
It's only 2 out of the 6.
So
like,
the top 3 boxes are going to be for just say, yep.
Like personal, and then
it's so little.
Yeah. You said grab a postcard.
I said a piece of paper.
Okay, I'm not grabbing.
You might
a piece
need
of paper
6 of those.
Oh wow! So you can't do this.
You're gonna be writing stuff.
Yeah, but not a lot, I would assume. Jeez, way to be clear on your. Way to be clear on your.
Oh well, you stopped me when I was trying to give instructions.
Sorry,
so,
continue.
Jeez. So the top 3, or like the top row, is going to be like personal life, and the bottom 3 would be work. Does that make sense?
Okay. And this is only for the first 2 boxes, or is this for all 6?
The top 3 would be for like one category, and the bottom 3 would be another category. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there anything else?
I'll explain more. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But I just want you to make sure you have your categories, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, we could break it up just like we did the lifestyle balance pie. We could break it up into family if you really want to focus on family, your hobby if you want to focus on your hobby, whatever it is. But I just did work and life. So then what you're going to do is this is going to be a stop, start, and continue. So all the way on the left is your stop boxes. The middle is going to be your start boxes. And then on the right is going to be your continue boxes. And then that's all you're going to do is go through each one. So we started with continue. So which categories did you choose?
Relationships and work/profession.
Okay, so which one would you like to talk about?
Relationships.
Okay, so in your relationships, what are some things that you'd like to continue? Things that you're already doing that you think are going well that you want to continue?
Reaching out when someone's top of mind.
I like that. Okay. Anything else that you want to continue? Make sure you still do.
Man. What else would I want to continue? Continue to give, without, of course, no strings attached, kind of thing. Keep my relationship strong. And this is just relationship in general, not talking about my personal relationship. So for all you guys that's like, oh my gosh, what's going on in Ronnie's relationship? Nothing. We're great and groovy over here, trust me.
Good enough. Okay.
What else? I would definitely want to. I guess this is more of a start, so I'll save that one. I think I'm good with that one. So just reach out more, continue to build, continue to just build the relationships that I already have. And I said one more that I just can't remember right now.
Okay, that's okay. All right. So then, in your relationships, what are some things that you'd like to stop or that you don't want to do anymore?
Stop wasting my time with certain individuals and learn how to just go the other way. When you can identify that someone isn't pouring into you anymore, and not to be selfish, like just say they have to give something, but it's like there's just I'm moving past you, right? I've outgrown you, essentially, is kind of what I'm saying here. It's just understanding and learning how to separate myself without feeling I would say like just bad about it. I would just be like,
So stop giving time and energy to people who
exactly, who don't need it. And
I feel like that's kind of, that could go in any category, right? Because it's kind of like continue setting personal boundaries, continue respecting myself in these relationships, or like start setting stronger boundaries, start prioritizing self, right? I feel like they all are the same thing, but yeah, that makes sense how you said it too. That's cool. Anything else you need to stop? Anything else you feel like you could stop?
Maybe I could stop being so damn upfront and so rude to some individuals. Maybe, maybe that might help a little bit. But
let's
that's
refer
just me,
back
though.
to our previous episode. Are you being rude or are you being assertive?
I think it's more of assertive. It's just the individuals who's receiving it doesn't like that assertiveness. So it's me not understanding how the person would prefer to be communicated to.
Perception.
Which I'm sure it's part of the big reason. But at the end of the day, I just don't really care. So it's like, oh, well, sorry. It looks like you have a personal problem in front of you. But I think I think it's at the end of the day, you still should be respectful of what the person wants. So just kind of, before being so assertive, understanding a little bit more of how the person would best receive the message I'm trying to send, and that way be able to communicate it that way.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's all.
That's cool. I just want to tie in the last episode because we know being assertive is the type of communication style that we want. So
yeah,
but I hear you. All right, are you ready for the last category, for the last piece?
I believe I am. I believe so.
So we're on start.
So what do I want to start with my relationships? Is being intentional with building more, right? Maybe even having like a certain number that I, put myself to making, even if it's past relationships that I have. It's like, hey, have a certain number where it's like you must reach out to these individuals, not just when they're top of mind, but just go and just say hi. So start doing that, be intentional with reaching out, start getting together with more people, like face to face kind of thing. And I would say, even if that means traveling, which I tend not to do too much of, but
start making sure Phoenix is part of one of your destinations.
Yeah. Maybe I can talk to the guys and we can see what we can do about that.
I'm not telling you to change it. I'm telling you.
Oh no, we're not changing it. There's no way, and that's gonna. Hopefully, you're there by next year, and we can maybe make something happen. So, if you want to pull up on us in Phoenix, there's a sneak peek on where we may be for 2025. Just we'll see. Not my decision.
Walk and Grow takes Phoenix.
Yeah, that would be fire. But anyways, yes, let's get back to what we were talking about. Just really being intentional. I would say that's one thing I definitely want to start. Maybe that isn't, like I mentioned, just having a certain number of people I reach out to. Maybe even new connections. Right? It doesn't necessarily have to be even past relationships, or Yeah, that's about it. I don't really
Mhm.
can't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's good. And I don't think the point is to have huge lists. I think the point is just to kind of get our brains going about like, here are some things. This is a really good way to give yourself feedback, right? Because you're talking about things that you have already been successful in, that you like doing, and that you can continue. Some things that you're like, here's where I could do better, and I don't have to continue these habits. But then there's other things that I want to start, and I want to kind of, or maybe some of the things that you stop, you can find ways to kind of mend them to start it in a different way, right? So you can use your stop category to kind of create your start category also,
Mm.
if that helps.
This
But
kind of
and
reminds
then
me of like a project management that I have for at least for my work and profession. I could essentially set up myself to be on projects every quarter. So there's certain projects and things that I must do that quarter. So this kind of reminds me of that because it kind of keeps you on in line of all right, what is it that you want to get done for this
mhm,
quarter, or what is it that you have to do? So stop looking at the other things that are distracting you and start looking at here where you must continue to focus or even pour in your time and energy into now.
yeah. So then your second category was work,
Work and
and then we
profession.
would
Yep.
go through it. Yeah, professional. We'd go through it the same way. You can do 6 categories. You could do 3 categories. It doesn't have to just be two. But I think it is good to kind of just sit and evaluate. And I say this every time we have a tool. I always think it's good to write it down, just
Yeah.
because though I did this at work the first time I learned this tool, um, and I wrote it down. I wrote it down in my favorite color. Like I made sure my favorite color marker was being used, and now I have it. I literally just kind of like threw it on my nightstand, but because it's my favorite color, my eye catches it,
Mm,
and I'll like check it out a couple times when I'm in my room, and I'm just like, I know
interesting.
this is what I want to work on. Like I know this is what I want to move forward with. So it's definitely kind of come up a couple times just because of the way that I notice it, and I know it's there, and I know I wrote
Yeah.
it down, and all of that. So.
So can we go through like what are some of the categories that someone can put on this list to kind of like give somebody some ideas? I know we talked about relationship, we talked
Mhm.
about work. Health is something that does come top of
Mhm.
mind. What else would you say is like some good categories to? And of course, it's all gonna be personal basis, but so
Mhm.
just really consider it to be like what is it that you really see for yourself, but just to kind
Yeah,
of get their brain turning a bit of what someone can think of.
definitely. I think, and again, I'm going to refer back to the lifestyle balance pie tool that we
Okay.
used. I think it's very similar to that, where it's like whatever you feel like you need to prioritize. So for me, like, or for you, you said relationships, right? But someone might want to work very specifically on a relationship. It doesn't have
Mm,
to be like romantic, but it could just be, I could put Pua on there and be like, I want to start, like, we need to go for walks twice a day. I need to
yeah.
stop letting him sleep in the bed, like just things like that. So it could be something very very specific, um, or it could be something more just like professional, right, which can be pretty broad depending on your work, depending on your job. um, I mentioned hobbies. We could definitely have a walking crow part, right? We could just have a social media part, right? You could break it down as much as
No, we don't need
you
that.
can break it down as much as you need to. And same thing, like my other hobby that takes up, like for me, it's work, podcast, rugby.
Mm.
That's kind of my 3 things that take up the most time for me.
Oh, you don't want to tell them
So,
about your nightlife, your party life, all the
uh,
stories that you tell me about? Anyway, sorry guys, sorry. Go on.
wow, you really wanted to put that out there. I have a good time. I have
I
a
know
good
you
time.
do. I don't think
Yeah,
they do
I'm a
though.
fun person.
I
What
never
do you
said
guys
you
want to
weren't.
know? I go out
No, no, no,
sometimes,
no, no, no. We don't have
not
to.
recently, because
Guys, you don't want to hear her stories. They
uh,
are not PG.
why
Go,
would
go.
you?
Sorry.
You always make me into something on these episodes. Guys, I'm
But
fun. Okay.
I thought
Don't
we'll be in
clip this.
Phoenix. Oh
I
well,
that's why
I
we'll be
should
in.
though.
You can clip it just for us, but don't share it. Ay. I don't even remember what we were talking about. My
We were
nightlife.
talking about the different
Actually,
categories,
that
and you were
might be a
talking.
category. That might be
Yeah.
a category. Like,
Do you want to enhance your nightlife, or do you want to do you want to maybe you're getting into too much trouble during the nightlife, what is it that you need to do to refrain yourself from getting into too much trouble? Maybe it's take one less drink, or I don't know, whatever it is.
I
But
don't even. That's not even part of
see,
my
I'm
nightlife.
not even talking about you at this point. I'm just generalizing. So the fact that you
Yeah.
responded to that says a lot about your nightlife.
Well, first of all, don't lie, because at first it was definitely about me. But I was just gonna say I'm an open book. I don't mind. But I was just gonna say I could definitely like. I think for me, I don't call it nightlife. I get what you're saying, but that's not what I call it for me. But
What
for me,
does
it's
Courtney
more
call it
about
then?
like, well, that is really the only time. Like going out with my friends is really the only time I'm choosing to not be busy with like I'm literally working, like I'm doing something for something,
Yeah.
or I'm going out with my friends. You know what I mean? So that's really the only time I'm just doing something for me. So I don't know what I would call it in terms of that category, but I could definitely focus on like, okay, what do I like about this? Like, what do I
Yeah.
want to continue? I want to continue going out. I want to continue having a good time, but does it have to look like the way it's looked in the past? And I know we're not actually talking about this, but I'm just going through the categories
Don't
now.
snitch on yourself.
No, I'm just saying I don't think I have unhealthy or like I definitely don't have dangerous. I'm not getting in legal trouble. Like just to put it out there, like nothing even close to that. So it's not anything, but there might be things that I still notice. Actually, yeah, I kind of did tell you this where it's like I notice every time I go out with this one person I end up like it's just a friend of mine, but I still end up feeling like why am I here? Like this
Mm.
actually isn't a lot of fun. So I just go out because the environment is like an environment I'd like to be in, but I notice when I'm with that person, I'm like, it's not really for me. So maybe that's
Yeah.
something I stop, or maybe I start making sure I invite other people so that I at least feel more like there's more of a community there when I go. So it's just things like that. So I'm happy to work through those things because everyone might have a category that is stressing them out in that moment or just feels like this is something I could work through and try to understand. And again, I think those three categories are important because I think it's easy for us to be like, I have to stop this. And then what else? Like what other processing is there? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or like I want to be better at this. Okay, well what parts can you stop? But what parts would you like to continue about it? And what can you implement instead? I think that's a much better way for our brains to kind of comprehend things rather than being like, this is bad, I gotta stop.
Yeah. It's
And then
essentially
what?
giving yourself, excuse me, it's essentially saying you must stop this, but what are the alternatives? Which is why I think I
Mm-hmm.
like the way that you started it. You said, all right, let's focus on the continue, and
Mm-hmm.
then we're going to focus on the stop, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the start, which is kind of the backwards of, I think, how
Yeah.
anybody will look at it, because someone will go start, what the heck? Stop, start, and then continue, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's, we all read from left to right. So that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of how it all lays itself out, which is why I like the way that you kind of did. You took me from
Mm-hmm.
the end, and then you
Yeah.
brought me back to the beginning, and then,
Mm-hmm.
hey, let's look at the middle, because that's where really
Yeah.
your time and focus should go. So that was really cool. That's a good tip and tool of the month. Anything else you want
Yeah.
to share or relay on that, or are we good to go?
Um, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's all about, like you mentioned, I know it's funny because I've never personally talked about like Q1, Q2, Q3. I don't know if that's like something that professionally, like just in other areas, people talk about, but I've heard you say it, so now I think a little bit more about it. And for me, not so much Q2, but more so like my birthday's coming up, so it's like
Yay, yay.
after my birthday, like let's you know how I am, New Year's, birthday, like all these different things. So my birthday's coming up and I want to kind of just reevaluate intentions and reevaluate where I'm at and make sure I'm on the right track. So I think
Yeah.
the start, stop, continue is a good tool and it stays positive, right? We're not in that stop category and we're just like, you're doing this wrong and you're doing this wrong. And
Yeah.
as you know, like that positive self-talk is huge and small wins are huge. And I'll say those over and over and over again. So, yeah, I hope people can use it in a positive way. And if, as always, if anybody has questions about which categories they should use or just ways of using it, you can share your start, stop, and continues with us if you complete it. If you write it a little bit bigger than on a index
Oh my
card, you can
gosh.
share it with us. And I
That's
get one
crazy.
shot at you. You took how many at me today?
I never said anything. I just said, oh my
We're not
gosh.
being kind.
Look at you getting so defensive. Hey, you keep taking shots. That's fine. I'm going to take shots right back. Um, it's a love hate relationship. But till
Getting
next time,
feisty today.
don't be like us, all right? Keep on applying perspective, education, growth, and collaboration.